If you've lost sleep worrying about the growing power of the alt-right, that shadowy coalition that includes white nationalists, anti-feminists, far-right reactionaries and meme-sharing trolls, I may have found a cure for your anxiety. Just try using its websites. In recent months, as sites like YouTube, Twitter and Facebook have cracked down on hate speech and barred several high-profile conservative users, the alt-right made a declaration of technological independence from Silicon Valley. Hard-right activists vowed to create their own versions of these digital services, on which all views would be welcome, no matter how crude or incendiary. More than a dozen alt-tech companies have now emerged, each promising a refuge from political correctness and censorship. There is Gab, a kind of alt-Twitter social network that began last year, whose early adopters included prominent figures like Milo Yiannopoulos and Andrew Anglin, the founder of the neo-Nazi Daily Stormer website. There is Wrongthink, alt-Facebook, PewTube, alt-YouTube, Vote, alt-Reddit, iFogalactic, alt-Wikipedia, and GoFundMe, alt-Kickstarter. There is even WaspLove, a dating site for white nationalists and others wishing to preserve their heritage. Recently, I spent several days testing a number of these alt-tech services. I created accounts, explored their features and interfaces, and interviewed users of each site about their experiences. With my wife's permission, I even created a WaspLove profile and advertised myself as a New York journalist looking to interview lovelorn white supremacists. Oddly, I got no takers. What I found on these sites was more pitiful than fear-inspiring. Sure, some alt-tech platforms were filled with upsetting examples of Nazi imagery and bigoted garbage. But most were ghost towns, with few active users and no obvious supervision. As technology products, many are second, or third-rate, with long load times, broken links and frequent error messages. A few had been taken offline altogether. If the alt-right ideology harks back to 1940s Germany, its web design might transport you to 1990s GeoCities. Even the movement's own adherents have grown frustrated. One Gab user, who claimed to be using the site while temporarily suspended from Twitter, complained in a public post about the site's technical inferiority. "I am an investor in Gab," wrote the user, who goes by the username @AnewThomasPaine. "I believe in the idea, but I am disappointed in the platform." In another message, he wrote, "I barely use it as there are few active users, and few essential features even after a year." Gab, which claims to have more than 300,000 registered users, was supposed to be an alt-tech success story. The service attracted reams of attention when it launched last year, and it raised more than $1 million in a crowdfunding campaign, making it the rare alt-tech platform with significant resources. Utsav Sajuja, Gab's chief operating officer, told Slate this year that the company was starting an organization called the Free Speech Tech Alliance, and had recruited more than 100 Silicon Valley engineers to help. But today, Gab is buggy and confusing, and much of the activity on the site appears to come from a small core of frequent users.